Hey everybody, it's Sam Sidequest and welcome to my manga haul for the month of November. I picked up a lot of great new series as well as caught up on some personal favorites in my collection, and I'm really excited to share my thoughts with y'all. So with that, let's go ahead and get started for the manga haul. Starting off, we have the highly anticipated Chainsaw Man Volume 1. And people really have been singing high praises for this series, so I was really pumped to check it out. I really enjoyed the first volume. I love how raw and dark the art style is at times. And Denji, although he's a fairly simple, one-dimensional character, so far I really like him a lot. Overall, I'm excited to pick up the next volume in a few months. I really enjoyed my time with this first volume, and I definitely recommend picking it up for those of you in the market for a new series. Next up, we have Demon Slayer Volume 17, and guys, I gotta say that I've really been enjoying these past few volumes of this series, and part of that might be because I know it's going to end relatively soon, and so I'm seeing it with fonder eyes, but to me, the main cast of characters are truly special, and Tanjiro is such a solid main character. The art style has grown on me a ton. I really didn't like it that much at first, but I'm loving the recent fights. I'm really loving the character designs. Overall, Demon Slayer gets a huge recommendation from me. After that, we have Eden Zero Volume 9. Definitely my biggest guilty pleasure in my collection. You know, the story, characters, and dialogue are very simple and one-dimensional. There's not a lot of depth to it, but I know that's what I'm getting from this series. It digs deep into every typical shonen trope, but it does so with a really good setting in outer space. It's one of my favorite parts of it, with fun characters and pretty great art. I'd honestly be lying if I said I hadn't enjoyed every volume, and I recommend it if you're looking for something simple. Next up, we have One Punch Man Volume 21, and out of my entire haul, this is the volume that I, without a doubt, enjoyed the most. Murata's art truly is a masterpiece, and it's probably my favorite in all of manga, at least that I've read so far. And it takes this fun, silly at times, action-packed series to the next level of badassness. You know, every character is very unique, but really sick and awesome in their own way, and I immediately read every new volume as soon as they get delivered to my house. Seriously, cannot recommend One Punch Man enough. I know everybody hypes it up and says it's great, but it really does live up to the hype, and it's one of my favorite series. Next up, we have My Hero Academia Volumes 24, as well as Volume 25. And these are without a doubt some of my favorite covers that I have in my entire collection. Honestly, these recent My Hero covers have been so well drawn and so sick. While I have really been enjoying My Hero Academia over the past 5 volumes or so, I've noticed that my love for the series really is diminishing ever since the All Might versus All for One fight. And I think that this might be the last physical volume that I pick up. I'm starting to think that the anime might be the best way for me personally to experience My Hero Academia, and so that's what I'm going to do going forward, is just be fully all anime. After that, we have Jujutsu Kaisen Volumes 5 and Volume 6. Now, the anime is actually currently ongoing for Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's easily one of my favorites of the year. I'm totally all in on the anime, and I really, really love it. But personally, this is another series that I think that the best way to experience it is from the anime. But I'm still really enjoying the manga, and I plan to pick it all up. I like the art style. I really like Yuji as a main character. And for me, the anime and the manga get 2 big thumbs up. Next up, we have one of my favorite ongoing shonens, and that is Dr. Stone Volumes 13 and 14. Even if you're not a huge fan of science, I still highly recommend the series. The characters have a fantastic way of progression that is really done in a unique and fun way. Rather than overcoming their enemies with a new ability or skill, the gang and Senku have to use their resources to create a new invention that will help them overcome their current challenge. And it's done so in a fun and interesting way that kind of makes you like science. But overall, I really enjoyed this new volume and definitely recommend it. After that is The Way of the House Husband Volume 4. Now, while these are super short and thin volumes and might not be the best value, Way of the House Husband is easily the funniest series that I own in my collection. And similarly to One Punch Man, as soon as I get a new volume in the mail, I immediately read it, just because they're episodic. It's easy to pick up at any moment and have a fun, enjoyable time. And the comedy is really right up my alley, so definitely recommend picking up this series if you're looking for humor. After that, we have Hat Atelier Volume 6, which to me is a criminally underrated series that I honestly barely see any other creators picking up. It has a great balance of light-hearted charm as well as darker, more serious moments. The main cast of girls are so lovable and charming, and the world has so much detail and heart put into it through the art and the character and world design. But I know not a lot of people have picked it up, and it might seem silly on the outside, but pick up Volume 1, give it a try, I guarantee you'll like it. Next up is 20th Century Boys Volume 19 of the Perfect Edition, and I believe there's only 2 more left of these Perfect Editions, which will mean the whole series is out in print. But Urasawa is a genius of a mangaka. Many people hold this as their favorite series by him, and while I've only read the first 3 Perfect Editions, I can tell the story is intriguing, gripping, and I really cannot wait for these next 2 volumes to come out so I can binge the whole thing because I love what I read so far. And then lastly, I picked up a few more volumes of 7 Deadly Sins, volumes 24 through 30. And surprisingly, this is actually one of the longest series I own in my collection, which if you told me that a year ago, I thought would never be the case. But 7 Deadly Sins is a series that has been able to keep me entertained and invested over 25 plus volumes. And that gets a huge recommendation for me off of that alone. But the main cast of characters are truly some of my favorite in manga. I love the whole gang. I think the fantasy world and setting is beautifully drawn and is honestly one of my favorite things about the series is the world in general. But Escanar is a recent addition to the cast from the volumes that I've read, and he is such a freaking beast, and I can easily see why people love him so much. But I definitely recommend 7 Deadly Sins, and with that is going to conclude the manga haul for this month. I got a lot of great volumes. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts on each volume, and if you could leave a like and subscribe, it would mean the world to me. With that, I'm going to head out, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week and hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.